Okay? The beginning of creation in this universe, first it said there's cycles of creation, right? And so after devastation, pralay, then everything is created again. So how creation starts? From in the bottom half of the universe is described to be filled with water. And from that water, where Lord Narayan is resting on his Anantashesh, comes a lotus stem. At the top of that lotus stem, a lotus appears. And on top of that lotus, Lord Brahma appears. Brahma is the first son of Narayan, so he's the first created being. And he has 4 heads, because it said he was looking in all 4 directions to see what's going on. It was darkness in all directions. And so he was looking everywhere. If we read the first words in the Old Testament, in the Bible, it's similar to this. It's very interesting. So Brahma, then he began to look, where is the source, what I'm coming from? And he traveled all the way down the lotus stem, but he could not find the source. He traveled up, he could not find anything. So he sat on the lotus, and then he heard the sound tapa, austerity. So then, hearing this, he closed his eyes and he began meditating for, it said, 1,000 heavenly years, celestial years. 1,000 one of those years is thousands and millions of our years. So for millions and millions of our years, he was doing meditation. And then Bhagavan himself, the Supreme Lord, appeared in his meditation and spoke to him the Chatusloki. Ahameva samevagre nanyat yat sadasat param paschad aham yadetacha yo vishiseta sosamaham riteartam yat pratiyatmana chatmani. This second verse. So we'll learn the rest of them. So he spoke these 4 verses. And he said, I was there before anything manifested. I was the original being. Ahameva samevagre. I was there when everything was present. I will be there after everything disappears. And then he said, anything that is not in relation to me has no value. When it's connected to me, it has some value. So you should also be connected to me with love. And then anything you do will be useful. And so then, after hearing the Chatusloki, now we're going to hear it more in depth afterwards. We're going to learn all the verses and we'll discuss it in depth. Now we're just giving a synopsis. So after hearing the Chatusloki, Brahma began, by the Lord's desire, he created everything. But after creating everything, when you create, then he became somehow distracted from Krishna because he was busy in all his creations, and so he had to go through many different cycles of creation, and many times he was disturbed. And then when Krishna appeared in Braj, even at that time he began to be confused. Is Krishna Bhagavan? Is Narayan Bhagavan? And so he tested Krishna. So just the last story I want to tell in relation to this is one time when Krishna wanted to break the pride of Brahma. Because sometimes we think we have some big seva, some big responsibility, so we become proud. And so Krishna wanted to break the pride of Brahma. And so he summoned him. He said, you should come now for a summons. And so he sent a messenger and he called Brahma to come to Dwarka. At that time, Krishna was living in Dwarka. So Brahma came. And when he approached Krishna's residence, he asked Rukmini, or he asked the attendants, I want to see Krishna. He called me, now I came to see him. And so they said, okay, just wait a little bit, we'll go in, tell Krishna that Brahma has come. You know the story? He said, tell Krishna that Brahma has come. So he said, okay. So the messenger went to Krishna and then came back and asked Brahma. Krishna is asking which Brahma came. Which Brahma? And Brahma thought, which Brahma? He thought, I am the only Brahma. Like, if Abhiram would to come to you and say, like, Abhiram has come. Which Abhiram? We have many Abhirams. So Brahma thought, I am the only Brahma. Brahma means the creator of the whole, like, he manifested all the different beings in creation by Krishna's power. So then he said, which Brahma? And he said, tell him, 4-headed Brahma, Chaturmukhi Brahma. So then they say, okay. So they went back and then they came afterward and said, okay, he's ready to see you. So as he was going into the palace to see Krishna, he entered the assembly hall. The assembly hall means like the darshan room, where Krishna gives audience to everyone. And they had a very big, beautiful assembly hall where millions, thousands and thousands of people can sit, like the biggest arena we can imagine. Hundreds of thousands of people could be present there. As Brahma approached the assembly hall, he started hearing a loud noise. And he became a little like, thinking like, what's going on? Like when we have our little drilling here, someone comes like, what's all the noise? So he heard like a very loud noise. It was like things banging on the floor, one after another, many like pots or something. As he came close, he entered from one door, and he went through, and then another door. Finally, he came into the assembly hall, and he became, again, his mind was blown, like Yashoda's mind was blown. He saw it was like a conference of all the different Brahmas. And he was the smallest Brahma. He only had 4 heads. But then he saw, oh, there's a 10-headed Brahma. Oh, there's a 20-headed Brahma. There's 100-headed Brahma. There's a 1,000-headed Brahma. There's a 1,000,000-headed Brahma. And all of these Brahmas were offering pranam to Krishna. Krishna was on one big singhasana at the very back, sitting and smiling. And all the Brahmas were bowing their crowns. Each of their heads had a crown. And so they were bowing their head to the ground, and each of their crowns was making a sound when they were hitting the ground. And so this sound was like a huge symphony of drums or something. All the different heads, banging on the ground. And Krishna was smiling sweetly and meeting with all of them. And so seeing this completely smashed all the pride in Brahma's heart. And then he realized, that's why we think, when we're stuck in false ego, we think I'm some kind of big shot. What to speak of us, even Lord Brahma, who's created this whole world, Krishna summoned him to break his pride, and he showed him that, he was just a very small being, like an ant. And another interesting point about this is said that this universe actually is not so big. We think, this universe is so big. If we look at this Earth planet, the Earth planet is very small compared to the whole universe. Even the material scientists, they say it's billions of light years across. And so the Earth is occupying a very teeny amount of space. But we're so caught up in our material affairs, we think it's a really big deal. Really, it's like ants are playing. All our politics are different ant hills and tribes fighting with each other. Different kingdoms fighting with each other. You see ants come together. If ants meet each other at some point, then the different tribes start fighting. So this is all our politics in this world. That's why in the end of the Bhagavatam, there's the song of the earth goddess. And she's just laughing. She's saying, all you stupid, foolish kings, you're all fighting over my earth. Ultimately, death is taking you all away, and I am still here. What is this? So Brahma saw that there's millions and millions of universes, and some of these universes are millions of times bigger than this universe. That's why the Brahmas had more heads to manage the bigger universe. And so this is kind of like waking him up. And that's why Krishna said, if you make relationship to me, then something has meaning. Otherwise, it's very insignificant. It has no meaning. So you should establish a heart-to-heart relationship with me. Come to me. Krishna said, Madmana bhava madbhakto. Absorb your mind in me. Become my devotee. Then you will come into my own transcendental abode. Then you can become transcendental. Then all these Brahmas, they'll even worship you. We see Brahma prayed, I want to become like, after he had these realizations, Brahma prayed, I want to become like the stone that the Brijabasis used to clean their feet after they're coming back from the forest. Even Brahma the creator, when he realized the glory of the Brijabasis, Krishna's own associates, Krishna had told him when he was born, make relationship with me, don't be caught up in material affairs. But he wanted to create, so he created his world. Like we create our small little worlds. But Krishna said, unless you have relationship to me, that's the next verse we're going to learn of the Chatusloki. Krishna says, unless something has relationship with me, it has no value. So make relation with me, then everything is valuable. But Brahma didn't listen. Later on, after his pride was pummeled again and again, after he stole the cows and calves and boys, again and again Krishna smashed his pride. And then finally he realized that, and he prayed then to Krishna's family members and to the Brijabasis, I want to become like a stone. And after the sweeper ladies sweep all the pathways of Braj, when they come home at night, she'll clean her feet on that stone that I am. And in this way my life will be successful. Such was the humility he developed. That's why we see Brahma also became Barshana, where Srimati Radhika lives. He became that mountain where Radhika has her palace on top. And he's always there taking the foot dust of Srimati Radhika on his head and considering his life successful. So if we want to make our life successful, we have to take shelter of Sri Krishna and Srimati Radhika and come to Braj. Then we can start to understand this, how everything is within Krishna and yet Krishna is separate from everything in Braj, how his Shakti is manifesting everything, but ultimately we'll forget all of this and just become in a loving relationship with him. If we become caught up in the reverence and opulence, we won't be able to see Krishna in his own personal sweet form. Krishna said, if you want to see me, why? He says, Avyakta Murtina. You cannot see me. In this one, he says, Even though Krishna is pervading everything, you cannot see him. He is avyakta murtina. So if you want to see him, then Gurudev mentions in the second one, Pashya me yogam aishwaram. Behold my mystic opulence. He said, if you want to see him, Pashya, even though he is avyakta, even though he is unmanifest to us, if we want to see him, it's only possible by prem. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. Santa Shadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokiyanti and Sham Sundar Machinta Guna Surupam Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. If you want to see that original personality of Godhead Govinda, within whom everything resides, who we are all a part of, if you want to see him, the only way is by pure love. And that pure love is in the hearts of all the sadhus. So by their mercy, we can also get that pure love, and then we can see Krishna, and then we'll forget everything else. Then we'll be like Yashoda. Even though Krishna has so much awe and reverence, opulence, we won't be interested in like that. When the Sakas saw a glimpse of this, they weren't interested. They say, Krishna, I'm not interested in that. I only want to play with you and wrestle with you. Or like the gopis, they're not at all interested in that. They say, Krishna, you want to be Bhagavan, you can go somewhere else. When the gopis saw Narayan, four-armed Narayan, they said, where is Krishna? When they went to this one place, they weren't interested in seeing Narayan, in opulence. They said, oh, where's Krishna? So that is our line. We're not interested in all the opulence. We're interested only in the sweetness, the madhurya. So we're praying to Gurudev. We stop here.